Hi everyone, it's Foot Forward here. It is January 5th, 2017. It's been a while since I've done a call, but considering stuff that is going on, I feel it is appropriate to do a call at this time. So this is in reference to the dream I had back in 2013, and this would have been towards the end of 2013. I guess I should start off with the dream because a lot of people aren't going to remember that. So, well, actually, the first reason I'm doing this call is to clear up some misconceptions, I guess, and just make things clear on where I stand with the RV and give some general information and give, I guess, an idea of why I've been quiet over the last couple of years. So this dream I had, I'm in a strip of jungle in Iraq, and it's toward the southern part of Iraq. There's a runway. There's not really an airport, but kind of like a makeshift airport with a really good runway. And I'm on an airplane. It's an Airbus A380. And I just have that understanding in my spirit. Now, this dream was the most vivid dream I've ever had. I didn't watch this from a third-person perspective. I took part in this dream in a first-person perspective, and my soul and my spirit were very much engaged in this dream. So anyways, I had an understanding in my spirit that this plane was an Airbus A380. I couldn't see the outside, but I just knew that. I'm sitting in the captain's seat, but I have an understanding that I have no clue how to fly an airplane whatsoever. I do have an understanding that sitting next to me is the current president of the United States. He's shrouded in complete darkness, but I can tell it's him. And he's in the co-pilot's chair, and he knows how to fly an airplane. So we try and take off, and first time, no success. Second time, no success. And every time something goes wrong, we have the mechanics come out, they're checking the airplane, they can't really figure out what's wrong. It just seems like for whatever reason, there's some mysterious problem that's keeping the airplane from going. So anyways, we try 6 more times for a total of 8 attempts to take off. And by the 8th time, the people in the airplane are getting incredibly restless. So after the 8th failed takeoff attempt, they get in the cockpit, kick him off the airplane, and there's this other guy that's waiting. He gets taken on the airplane by the people, and I can't see his face, but I can see an anointing on him. And it was just really clear that this guy, God had anointed for a purpose. And he gets in the airplane, sits down. Right away, the atmosphere completely changes. Just a sudden shift. And I have an understanding suddenly on how to fly an airplane. So he sits down in the passenger seat, in the co-pilot seat, looks at me and says, "Let's go." So we take off, no issues right away. And as soon as we're a little bit off the ground, I wake up. So I didn't have an immediate understanding for what this dream meant. So I got up, went to the shower, and as soon as I get in the shower, I have this instantaneous understanding of what the whole dream meant. And it didn't come piece by piece. It was just like in a millisecond, I had a complete interpretation for the dream. So the Airbus A380, the airplane itself represented the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. The 380 represented the 3rd month of the year and the 80th day of the year. Now, sorry about that. So anyways, the 3 represented the 3rd month of the year, and the 80 represented the 80th day of the year. This was really clear to me. At the time, I didn't want to admit that we were waiting for the next U.S. election for the time of the RV. I felt like we were going to have something sooner than that. So I understood that the change in pilots represented a change in leadership. So I'm publicly repenting because I put my own interpretation of what I wanted the dream to mean. So I was expecting to have an RV in 2014, 2015. Nothing had happened. 2016 rolls around and we still hadn't had anything. So I kind of gave up the dream. I thought I had missed it and just misunderstood the whole thing and really gave up on it. March 22nd, 2016, the Lord spoke to me and said that I hadn't missed it. And I said, missed what? He said, your dream. I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'm putting renewed life on that dream, and you didn't miss it. You just misinterpreted it. So he's like, the 8 failed takeoff attempts were the 8 years that the current president was in office. And the change in leadership is the new president that I'm going to instill. He is going to change the atmosphere in the country for the American people, and the RV is going to take place after he gets in office. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Sure. I was a little skeptical at that point. But anyways, the next day, my wife and I were watching TV, and I saw Donald Trump on TV. And up to that point, I hadn't had an idea of who this person in my dream was, that was supposed to be the new leader or represented the leadership change. But as soon as I saw Donald Trump, I recognized the anointing that I had saw in my dream on the new co-pilot was the same anointing that had been placed on Donald Trump. So right away, I looked at my wife, and we had another friend over at the house that day, and I said, Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. My wife and my friend looked at me like I was insane, and they were both exclaiming that there was no way that was possible, and, you know, he would never be president and whatever. I was rebuked by a lot of people when I said that, and I just knew in my spirit, though, that he was to be the president, and if we wanted to have an RV, he needed to be the next president of the United States. So I began to pray and intercede at that point, and I just knew March 21st, 2017 is the date of the RV, provided that Donald Trump gets in office. So I knew in my spirit he was going to be the next president. And even a week before the election took place, God told me that the Wednesday before, the presidential election had actually been won already in the spirit, and that Donald Trump would be the next president. So when we were watching the election that night, I remember we were watching Pennsylvania, and he was losing in Pennsylvania quite badly. He was losing by 10 or 15 points. I just blurted out, Trump's going to win Pennsylvania, and that'll turn the whole election. And my wife and a few other people were over here. They just kind of looked at me like, you know, you're nuts. There's no way he can win Pennsylvania, because they were almost like 50% of the way through the voting at that point. So anyways, he starts to mount this comeback in Pennsylvania and eventually overtakes Hillary and wins Pennsylvania. So at that point, I knew, you know, I knew before, but it was just kind of cool to see that all transpire. So anyways, I understand a lot of people don't like Trump, but he is going to be the best president that America has ever had. He is going to win 2 terms. I believe Mike Pence will win a term after that. So there's a 12-year window where America is going to see prosperity on a scale that no country has ever seen in its existence before. And a lot of that is going to come because he stands with Israel, and America is greatly going to be blessed because of that. So I guess I'm saying this to say, the timing of my dream, I believe, is going to correspond with Kim Clement's prophetic word about the Dow hitting 20,000 and having that is kind of like a signpost of where we're at with the RV, and there being a connection to a change in the dinar at that time. Um, yeah, I'm expecting good things. So that's really all I have to say. I wanted to put this out there to clear up any rumors or misconceptions people might have, and um, I don't know. Let's see what happens March 21st, but I am expecting good things. Bless you guys. I hope you guys are well, and get ready, because I believe the whole financial system is about to shift in a very good way for us. We'll see you later. Bye.